This is Byron Bolter, the helper, talking with Norma, the helpee.
I've just been trying to decide if I want to continue with my career as a teacher or if I want to go into nursing. There's been a lot of changes that have taken place with teaching because when I first started teaching, we were able to have somebody else do the data analysis, and we would discuss which specific peaks were needed to be improved in different teachers' classrooms and stuff, versus now it's just basically just here's the data analysis on grades of how the kids are doing on each test, and you go from there. And looking into nursing, which would take me 2 years to complete that, and I could still hopefully have a position to where I'm in a place to where I can still see the families grow and change and develop a rapport with them.
You feel conflicted because you see the educational system changing in a direction that you're not happy with, and you want to be more fulfilled in the career of your choice.
Yeah, so with education, like I said, the political realm has really come in and basically taken over education, and there's just different tasks that are assigned to teachers that really have no bearing, or I don't see the bearing on how to teach your kids or how it's going to actually benefit the students. And I think if teachers were allowed to teach, not just teach a test, I think that would be more beneficial for students as well as the education system. But unfortunately, that's not the realm that we're in right now. So there's more added to teachers, and we're having to do more work than what we used to do when I even first started. So once I finish at school, I still have to come home and I still have work to do. And so I feel like even though I'm scheduled to be at work from say 7:30 to 4 o'clock, the actual work doesn't really stop at 4 o'clock because you got to come home and continue your work or stay at school and continue your work. But regardless, you're not done at 4 o'clock. And I enjoy seeing the kids learn and I enjoy seeing them grow. But on the other side too, if I was a nurse in a position to where the same families would come in when they needed to be seen by doctors or whatever, then I could still see the kids grow and the families grow, because I wouldn't mind working with the elderly or children, because it just seems like there's just a connection between those two. It's just I've always known that I was supposed to work with children, and I've worked with an elderly before as well, and there's a connection between those two fields of work with them.
You feel frustrated because you have to do work as a teacher that you feel is taking your attention away from what really should be going on as a teacher.
Yes, that's exactly right, because like I said, not only do you have your lesson plans to do, presenting the lesson to the students and getting their papers graded and everything, but you also have all the extra stuff that piles on with it, and like doing our own data analysis, but it's not really itemized, and just having different things that aren't really discussed as much as they used to be, I guess. And just the extra work just seems overbearing, overloaded. for teachers now, and and that takes away from my family as well, which is a hindrance, and I don't really like because I'm not having that time with my children while they're still here, and with my husband when he's not working. So if I was a nurse, I wouldn't have summers off as a nurse, but I would have vacation time. And once I finished at work, I would be done.
I guess that leaves you feeling overwhelmed because you have to work not only at the job but also when you come home as well.
That's right. So I'm always lugging stuff back and forth to work. And sometimes when I bring it home, it doesn't get done, but that puts me behind when I don't accomplish the task I need to accomplish when I bring it home. So then I guess I get frustrated and overwhelmed when I just have work that piles up. And then, my cousin's a nurse and she works Monday through Friday and one weekend out the month. And so just knowing that she makes about $20,000 more than I do, but works a lot less than I do, just kind of seems pretty nice.
I guess with your seeing your cousin being a nurse and her lifestyle the way that it is, that kind of leaves you feeling kind of longing for something different, a change.
Yeah, it really does, because knowing that I could work less and be at home more and actually have time for my family would benefit in itself. Even though I wouldn't have the summers off, I would still be able to work and then not have extra work to do once I got home, because I'd have that time for my family.
You feel hopeful that for you there's a different career choice that would still fulfill you in the same manner, so to speak, that teaching does.
Yeah, I think so, because even if I had to start out working 12-hour shifts, I could work like in the morning, hopefully, and then be home in the evening, or be home in the morning before the kids go to school and stuff, and get them to school before I went to work, and then be home later that evening. But my ideal job would be to work in a doctor's office or something, to where I could actually see the same patient and develop that rapport with them, and then, like I said, basically work like an 8 to 5 job and then have that time with my family. I think that would be more beneficial. Then I'd also have time, even during the school year, I would be able to take time off and everything. So knowing that I would have that time to be able to be with my kids and not have to worry about different tasks or staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning because I chose to spend time with my family, and the evening time trying to get my work done as a teacher. I wouldn't have to worry about that, but I would be able to develop time to where, as a nurse, I'd be able to develop time over a period of time, obviously. I'd be able to have vacations that could be taken at different times throughout the year. So I could just schedule around their times that they're off.
Sounds like you feel desirous of you being able to work less and still have that fulfillment, obviously, but be able to spend more time with your family like nursing would allow you to be able to do.
Right. And it might be hard during the summertime for the kids at first, because they're used to me being at home with them. But I think eventually it would work out because they wouldn't have to worry about me doing a whole bunch of different types of, just different workshops or different things like that. I'd be able to focus on them once I came home, and then I could take, because I know eventually you get like 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off during the year as a teacher or as a nurse, versus when being a teacher, yes, you get your week off for the Thanksgiving holiday, you get 2 weeks off at Christmas, or almost 2 weeks now. That's how they're adding more days as a teacher, that you have to work more, but yet the pay's not being increased. So it just kind of, and then there's been talk also about year-round schooling, so I don't know if that's ever going to take place or not. So if it did, I'd still be teaching year-round and probably not get paid much more. Anymore.
You feel content with the choice that nursing, or the choices that nursing has to offer, because it sounds like there's more pros for you at this point for nursing than there is for teaching.
That's right, there most likely is. I do enjoy seeing the kids learn, but then again, as a nurse, I could, just teaching them about health and stuff, and they can learn different things as a nurse. And still developing that rapport with them as well. I think nursing seems to be a pretty good idea. Just getting in debt for school again. But only thing holding me back right now.
So in summary, basically what we've talked about is the fact that you are, because of the changes that have happened in the educational system, you're considering highly going into nursing, and that that there'll be challenges that are associated with that, but you feel confident that you can overcome those challenges to make the change.
That's cool. Thank you very much.